My friends, pain is not your enemy. It is simply a messenger. When life hurts, it is not punishing you, it is trying to wake you up. But instead of listening, most people resist, they complain, they escape, they drown themselves in distractions. But tell me, has running away ever freed you? Has ignoring pain ever healed a wound? When you touch fire, it burns. The pain tells you to pull your hand away. Without pain, you would let your flesh burn. So pain is not suffering. Suffering happens when you do not understand pain. If you resist, if you hold on to it, then pain becomes suffering. Life does not hurt you to break you. It hurts to show you something to help you grow beyond what you are. The question is, will you sit in darkness cursing it, or will you light a lamp and see? So what can you do when life hurts? The first thing, stop personalizing it. The sun does not rise to bless you, nor does the rain fall to curse you. Life is simply happening. Pain is a part of it, just as joy is. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Your body may feel pain, your mind may know sadness, but you are neither the body nor the mind. If you can step back and observe, if you can sit still and simply watch your thoughts, your emotions, your pains, you will see they come and go. But you, the one who watches, you remain. So my friends, when life hurts, do not shrink. Do not fight it. Do not run. Instead, sit still. Observe. Grow. And most of all, live not in resistance, but in awareness. Pain is a messenger, not an enemy. It comes to tell you something, to awaken you to something within yourself that needs attention. But most people misunderstand pain. They see it as an attack, as something to be avoided, resisted, or numbed. But what happens when you resist a message? It has to come back louder and stronger. Think of it like this. If you place your hand on a thorn, pain tells you to remove it. If you ignore it, the wound gets infected, the pain intensifies, and soon it spreads through your whole system. Pain is not the problem, ignoring it is. Life has no interest in torturing you. It is simply showing you where you are stuck, where you need to heal, where you need to grow. But instead of listening, most people react. They either get lost in suffering, asking, why is this happening to me? Or they suppress it with distractions, food, entertainment, relationships, addictions. But does escaping pain ever make it go away? No. It only buries it deeper, and sooner or later it resurfaces, sometimes as illness, sometimes as frustration, sometimes as depression. What if instead of running, you simply sat with your pain? What if you treated it like a teacher instead of an enemy? If you could observe it without judgment, you would see pain always carries wisdom. Maybe it is showing you that something in your life needs to change. Maybe it is showing you that your way of thinking is causing unnecessary suffering. Maybe it is pushing you to become stronger. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. If you stop seeing pain as an attack and start seeing it as a lesson, suddenly life stops being a struggle. Instead of feeling like a victim, you become a seeker, someone who learns, who evolves, who moves through life with clarity. And when you reach that point, pain loses its power over you. Instead of being something that drags you down, it becomes something that lifts you. When pain comes, most people instinctively push it away. They tighten up, resist, and try to avoid feeling it. But resistance does not remove pain, amplifies it. Imagine holding onto a rope while someone is pulling it from the other end. The harder you grip, the more it burns your hands. But if you simply let go, the pain stops. This is how suffering works. Pain itself is just a sensation, a passing wave. But when you resist it, when you replay the hurt in your mind, when you create stories around it, when you hold on to resentment or self-pity, that is when suffering begins. Pain may last a moment, but suffering can last a lifetime if you do not understand it. Think of an old wound. The body naturally heals, but if you keep poking it, scratching it, refusing to let it be, it festers. The same happens with emotional pain. Life may have hurt you once, but how many times have you replayed that hurt in your mind? How many times have you relived that moment, making the suffering last far beyond the original pain? Most of the suffering people experience is not from life itself, but from their resistance to life. A loss happens, but the mind clings to what was. A betrayal occurs, but instead of moving forward, one keeps feeding the wound with thoughts of anger and victimhood. The pain of the past becomes suffering in the present because the mind refuses to let go. But if you stop resisting, if you allow pain to come and go as naturally as the breath, then suffering cannot take hold of you. Pain will visit, but it will not stay. You will experience hurt, but you will not turn it into a permanent state of being. The tighter you hold on to pain, the more it consumes you. The moment you stop fighting it, you realize it was never meant to control you. It was simply passing through. Life is not sitting somewhere plotting against you. It is not keeping score of your rights and wrongs, nor is it handing out pain as punishment. It simply moves like the wind, like the ocean, like the changing seasons. The sun does not rise to bless you, nor does the storm come to curse you. They simply happen. But when life brings pain, people take it personally. They ask, why is this happening to me? As if existence has singled them out for suffering. This is where the real struggle begins, not in what happens, but in how one perceives it. If a tree loses its leaves in autumn, does it sit there grieving? No, because it knows this is the way of life. The same winds that strip its branches will also carry the seeds of new growth. Yet when hardship comes, humans resist. They believe life is being unfair, but fairness and unfairness are ideas created by the human mind. The universe does not function on personal preference. A wave does not ask if it should rise or fall, it simply follows the rhythm of nature. But humans want only the rising, never the falling. They want pleasure, not pain, gain, not loss. And in this resistance, suffering is born. Look at a river. It does not complain when the rocks try to block its path. It simply finds a way to flow around them, but people, when faced with obstacles, sit down and cry, asking why the rock was placed in their way instead of finding a way forward. Life is not against you. It is not testing you. It is simply moving, and you must learn to move with it. If you stop seeing pain as something unfair and start seeing it as part of life's natural rhythm, you will not suffer unnecessarily. When you let go of the idea that life is punishing you, you will stop fighting it. And when you stop fighting life, you will start flowing with it. Then even in pain, there will be peace. Even in loss, there will be freedom. Because you will no longer be trapped in the illusion that life is happening to you. You will see that life is simply happening. The rain does not fall to ruin your day. The sun does not shine to make you happy. Life moves on its own accord without taking your personal preferences into account. But the human mind personalizes everything. When things go well, people believe they are special, blessed, chosen. When things go wrong, they feel cursed, punished, or forgotten. But life is not working for or against anyone, it simply is. Imagine standing in the ocean. The waves come and go. Some are gentle, some are strong. But if you start believing that every wave is personally trying to knock you down, you will exhaust yourself fighting them. Instead of flowing with life, you become stuck in a battle that exists only in your mind. This is what happens when people personalize pain. Instead of seeing it as a natural part of life, they turn it into a story about themselves. Someone is rude to you, and instead of letting it pass, you think, why does this always happen to me? A challenge arises, and instead of facing it, you think life is so unfair. A loss happens, and instead of accepting it, you ask, why me? But tell me, why not you? Do you expect life to give pain to everyone except you? The rain does not ask where it should fall. The wind does not choose whom it should touch. Life is simply happening, and if you personalize it, you create unnecessary suffering. The river does not cry when it meets a rock, it simply flows around it. But people hold on to pain, making it bigger than it is, as if the entire universe is conspiring against them. If you stop taking life personally, you will see things more clearly. You will understand that pain is not targeting you, it is just part of existence. Instead of drowning in self-pity, you will learn to move with life, not against it. And when you do that, even in difficulty, there will be ease. Even in pain, there will be freedom. Because you will no longer see life as something happening to you. You will see it as something simply happening. Pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to shape you, to break down what is unnecessary, to push you beyond what you think you are. But most people do not see it this way. They see pain as a punishment, something unfair, something to be avoided at all costs. But tell me, if you avoid growth, do you remain the same or do you start to wither? Look at a seed. It has to break open, be buried in darkness, and struggle through the soil before it ever sees the light. If the seed resists, if it says, I do not want this pain, I do not want this pressure, then it will never become a tree. It will remain small, trapped in its shell, never knowing the vastness it could have reached. But when it allows itself to break, when it embraces the pain of transformation, only then does it grow. The same is true for you. When life hurts, it is not to punish you, it is to push you. It is life's way of saying you are capable of more. But instead of using pain as a teacher, most people use it as an excuse to stop. They say, this is too much, I cannot handle this. But tell me, when has anything truly valuable come without effort? Strength does not come from comfort, it comes from challenge. Wisdom does not come from ease, it comes from struggle. Think of a piece of metal. Left untouched, it remains ordinary, but when it is put into fire, beaten and shaped, it becomes something powerful, a sword, a tool, something of purpose. The fire does not destroy it, it refines it. But if the metal could think, it might say, why is this happening to me? It does not see that the fire is a blessing, that without it, it would never reach its full potential. You are no different. The pain you experience is the fire that shapes you. The challenges you face are the chisels that carve you into something greater. If you resist, you will stay the same. But if you allow pain to teach you, to move you, to transform you, then one day you will look back and see it was not breaking you, it was making you dot. Most people do not experience pain as it is. They experience pain as they think it is. The mind takes a moment of hurt and stretches it into days, months, even years of suffering. But have you ever simply sat and observed your pain? Have you ever watched it without labeling it, without reacting, just noticing it as it is? If you do, you will see something surprising. Pain is just a sensation, an energy passing through. It only becomes unbearable when you resist it, when you add meaning to it, when you cling to it. Imagine you are holding a hot cup of tea. The warmth is pleasant, but if you grip it too tightly, it starts to burn. Pain is like that. If you hold on to it, it hurts more than it needs to. But if you simply observe it without gripping, without resisting, you will notice something. It changes. It moves, it shifts, and eventually it fades. Try this the next time you feel pain. Do not react. Just sit still. Close your eyes and feel it fully, not with fear, not with stories, but just as it is. Where is it in your body? Is it sharp or dull? Is it moving or staying in one place? The moment you observe pain in this way, you are no longer trapped by it. You create a space between yourself and the sensation. And in that space, suffering disappears. Most people live as slaves to their thoughts and emotions. When pain comes, they immediately say, this is bad, this is unfair, I cannot bear this. They do not realize that these words are not the pain itself, they are adding layers of suffering on top of it. But what happens if you stop talking about your pain, stop analyzing it, stop turning it into a story? Suddenly it is not as heavy as you thought. Look at the sky. Clouds come and go, but the sky remains untouched. In the same way, pain comes and goes, but you, the one who watches it, remain untouched. The problem is most people identify with the clouds, not the sky. They forget that pain is temporary, but their awareness is constant. If you can remember this, then no pain, physical, emotional, or mental, can truly overwhelm you. You will still feel it, but it will no longer control you. Instead of drowning in it, you will simply watch it pass out. You experience pain in the body. You feel sadness, anxiety, or fear in the mind. But tell me, if your body is hurting, does that mean you are hurting? If your mind is troubled, does that mean you are troubled? The body and mind are just instruments, like a radio playing music. Sometimes the music is pleasant, sometimes it is painful, but the radio itself remains unchanged. In the same way, you remain unchanged no matter what the body or mind is going through. But most people forget this. They say, I am in pain, instead of my body is in pain. They say, I am suffering, instead of my mind is feeling suffering. This small difference changes everything. The moment you step back and observe, you realize something powerful. You are not your pain. You are simply the one who is aware of it. Look at your emotions. One moment you are happy, the next you are sad. One day you are confident, the next you are full of doubt. If you were your emotions, then every time sadness came, you would have to stay sad forever. But that does not happen, does it? Emotions change just like clouds in the sky. The sky never becomes the clouds, it only watches them pass. So why do you say, I am broken, when you are simply watching a moment of pain? Imagine sitting by a river. The water flows past, sometimes calm, sometimes rough. If you jump in, you will be tossed around by the current. But if you sit on the bank and watch, you are untouched. Pain is the river, but you are not in it. You are sitting on the bank watching it flow. But most people jump in. They grab onto their pain, replaying it in their minds, analyzing it, identifying with it. They do not see that pain is only a passing wave. The more you hold on to it, the more it controls you. But if you simply observe without reacting, you will see it comes, it goes, and you remain. The body feels pain, the mind feels emotions, but you, who you truly are beyond both. The moment you realize this, pain will still happen, but it will no longer own you. You will feel it, but you will not become it. And in that, there is freedom. Stillness is not about stopping life. It is about stopping the unnecessary struggle within life. When pain comes, people react. They panic, they resist, they try to escape. But tell me, has running away from pain ever made it disappear? No. It only makes it stronger, more persistent. The moment you try to fight something, you give it power over you. But if you simply sit still and observe, something remarkable happens. The pain does not control you anymore. Imagine a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, and everything around you is in chaos. If you try to fight the storm, if you run around trying to stop the wind, what will happen? You will exhaust yourself, but the storm will not stop. But if you sit quietly, if you wait, you will see the storm will pass on its own. This is how pain works. If you keep reacting, if you're keeping in with thoughts, emotions, and resistance, it stays longer. But if you simply allow it to come and go, you will realize it was never as powerful as you thought. Most people have never truly experienced stillness. They think stillness means doing nothing, but that is not true. Stillness is absolute awareness without reaction. It means you are fully present with whatever is happening without running, without resisting, without trying to change it. When you do this, you begin to see pain clearly, not as an enemy, not as something that is happening to you, but simply as an experience moving through you. The mind, however, is restless. The moment pain arises, it starts searching for distractions. It turns on the television, picks up the phone, finds people to talk to, anything to avoid sitting with pain. But tell me, if you are running away from something, does that not mean you are giving it power over you? If pain had no control over you, why would you need to escape? The fact that you are trying to avoid it means it has already won. Now let us try something. The next time you feel pain, instead of reaching for a distraction, just sit. Close your eyes. Observe the pain not with judgment, not with fear, just as it is. Where do you feel it? Is it a sensation in the body? Is it a thought in the mind? Watch it like you would watch a cloud passing in the sky. Do not label it as good or bad. Do not create a story around it. Just be still. Something extraordinary will happen. You will begin to see that pain is just energy moving through you. It is not as unbearable as you thought. What made it unbearable was your resistance. Pain, when left alone, rises and falls like a wave, but when you keep replaying it in your mind, analyzing it, making it bigger than it is, that is when suffering takes over. A person who learns stillness learns mastery over life, because stillness does not mean you do not feel pain. It means pain no longer dictates how you live. You may feel sadness, but you are not consumed by it. You may feel fear, but it does not control you. You may feel lost, but you do not drown in it. Stillness is not weakness, it is the greatest strength. A rock in a river is beaten down by the current, but a tree with deep roots stands firm. When storms come, weak branches snap, but the trunk remains unmoved. This is the power of stillness. When life hurts, you do not collapse, you do not run, you remain still, aware, steady. And when you are steady, nothing in life can truly shake you. Growth does not happen in comfort. It happens when you are pushed beyond what you thought you could endure. But most people seek only ease and pleasure. They want life to be smooth, predictable, and free of hardship. And when life does not give them this, they feel betrayed. But tell me, has anything truly valuable ever come without struggle? Has a tree ever grown strong without facing storms? Has gold ever become pure without passing through fire? Look at a caterpillar. It lives its life crawling, unaware of what it is meant to become. But when the time comes for transformation, it does not happen in comfort. It must cocoon itself in darkness, dissolve completely, and endure a painful process before emerging as something new. If the caterpillar resists, if it refuses to go through this change, it will never fly. It will remain stuck in its old form, never knowing its true potential. Humans are no different. Pain comes not to destroy you, but to break down the false ideas you have about yourself, to push you beyond your limitations. When life puts you in difficult situations, you have two choices: to resist and suffer, or to surrender and grow. The problem is most people choose the first. They fight against life, they resist change, they cling to the past. And in this resistance, suffering is born. Think about a person who lifts weights. The muscles must tear before they grow stronger. Without this tearing, there is no growth. If the person says, "I do not want pain, I do not want discomfort," then they will remain weak. In the same way, if you avoid emotional or mental pain, you remain small, fragile, unable to handle life. But if you allow yourself to go through hardship without resistance, you emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Look at how nature works. A river does not flow in a straight line. It twists, it turns, it carves through rock, shaping the land over time. If the river were to stop at every obstacle, saying, "This is too hard, I cannot go forward," it would never reach the ocean. But it does not stop. It finds a way. In the same way, pain in life is not here to block you, it is here to shape you, to carve you into something greater. But most people misunderstand pain. They see it as an enemy, something to be avoided at all costs. They do not realize that every great transformation in life comes through hardship. A seed must crack open before it grows. A butterfly must struggle out of its cocoon to strengthen its wings. If you interfere, if you try to take away the struggle, you take away the strength. The same is true for you. Every time you face pain, you have a choice. You can use it to build yourself, or you can let it break you. If you see pain as a punishment, you will suffer. But if you see it as a teacher, you will grow. Because pain does not come to stop you, it comes to push you forward. And if you stop resisting, if you embrace the lessons hidden within, you will see every hardship was preparing you for something greater. The idea of surrender can be one of the most misunderstood concepts in human life. People often think surrender means giving up, quitting, or becoming passive. But true surrender is not about retreating from life or surrendering to defeat it. It's about letting go of your struggle against the natural flow of existence. It is about stopping the war you have been waging against what life is bringing to you. Pain, hardship, and difficulty are a part of life. And rather than resisting them, true strength comes when you stop fighting and allow them to teach you. Think about how a river flows. It encounters obstacles, rocks, debris, sudden bends, and it does not stop. It does not fight against them. It does not scream, "This should not be here." It flows around them, over them, or under them, finding a path through. The river does not try to change the obstacles. It simply accepts that they are part of the path and moves forward. In the same way, when you stop resisting the challenges life throws your way, you move forward with them. You don't avoid them, you don't fight them, but you learn how to flow through them. Resisting pain is like holding your breath when you are underwater. At first it feels like you have control, but eventually the pressure becomes too much. You can no longer hold your breath, and the struggle becomes exhausting. But when you let go, when you simply allow yourself to breathe, the pressure eases. The same is true for emotional pain. When you resist it, you feed it. But when you allow it to come, feel it, and pass, it loses its grip on you. You stop fighting the pain, and in that you find peace. When life hurts, it often feels like the universe is against you. You may ask, why is this happening to me? But this question assumes that life owes you something, that it should follow your idea of fairness. Life is not about fairness, it is about growth, learning, and becoming something greater. When you surrender, you stop asking why this is happening to you and start asking, what can I learn from this? In every moment of pain, there is an opportunity for growth, but you must be willing to surrender to that opportunity. When you surrender, you let go of the resistance that keeps you trapped in your suffering. You stop struggling with reality, and instead, you accept it as it is. When you accept life as it is, you no longer fight against it. You are no longer a victim to your circumstances, but a participant in the unfolding of life itself. Think of a tree in a storm. It does not fight the wind. It does not cry out, "Why me?" It bends with the storm, and because it bends, it survives. If it were to fight against the wind, if it tried to resist, it would snap. But in surrender, the tree endures, it grows stronger, and eventually the storm passes. So too, when you face pain, surrender does not mean giving up, but bending with the storm, allowing it to pass through you, and finding strength in the process. True surrender also means letting go of your attachment to outcomes. We often suffer because we are attached to a certain outcome, a specific vision of how things should be. When life does not unfold according to our plans, we feel frustrated, angry, or hopeless. But if you stop attaching yourself to a particular outcome, you stop setting yourself up for disappointment. Life may not always give you what you expect, but it will give you what you need for your growth. The moment you stop resisting what is and begin to surrender to what comes, you enter a state of flow. You stop swimming upstream, you stop trying to control the currents, and you start moving with them. Pain becomes a part of the process, not an obstacle. It becomes the soil in which you grow, not the thorn that stops you. In this way, surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength. It is the strength to let go of control, to allow life to unfold as it will, and to trust that, in the end, you are exactly where you need to be. In this surrender, you will find peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting against the perfection of life as it is. You begin to see that every hardship, every challenge, every moment of pain is not something to avoid or resist, but something to embrace as part of your journey. The river will always have obstacles, the tree will always face storms, and life will always bring challenges. But when you surrender to the flow, you stop seeing these as burdens. You see them as the very forces that shape you, strengthen you, and push you toward your true potential. And so, when life hurts, do not fight it. Do not seek to escape it or wish it away. Instead, embrace the pain as part of the journey. Understand that it is not here to punish you, but to guide you, to shape you, to help you grow into something greater than you were before. Pain is not an enemy, it is a teacher, a force of nature, and a powerful force of transformation. When you surrender to it, when you stop resisting and simply flow with it, you will find strength where you once saw weakness, clarity where you once felt confusion, and peace where you once felt chaos. In the end, life is not about avoiding pain, it is about learning how to move through it with grace, with wisdom, and with the understanding that pain, just like everything else, is temporary. What endures is your ability to rise, to adapt, and to evolve. So when life hurts, trust that it is not breaking you, it is remaking you. And with every moment of struggle, you are becoming who you were always meant to be.